So let's get right to it. I'll tell you my 6 categories. Right off the bat, we have the warm-up routine. And a lot of people think, how do you warm up for a full hour? Well, it's not really just about getting your blood flowing and warming up like that. It's also technical practice at the same time. So I like to do what I call getting calibrated. So you're getting your hands to work together. You're sort of getting the technique down. You're relaxing as you do it. You're trying to find all the problems you might have with your technique during this warm up time. So let's say I'll start off with just the spider exercise, maybe 4 times in each note. By the way, I've got this crazy new Telecaster, and don't worry, you don't have to follow. This neck is so crazy looking. You don't really have to see what I'm doing. I'm basically going to tell you what I'm doing, and you can do it on your own guitar, okay? So you don't really have to know which string I'm on or anything like that. So I'll do 4s per each note. It's kind of a paradox. I've got like this real heavy metal tone, but playing through a Telecaster. It's kind of funny. But anyway, you get the idea. Now, I did that a little bit faster. I would actually slow it down and use a metronome just to get the fingers in sync. That way your hands are calibrated together. And then later on, when you start to do actual scales and sweeps and all that kind of stuff, they'll hopefully still be locked together. After doing 4s for a while, I'll go to 2s. And so on. Then I'll move to singles. Not only across the strings, I'll also go this direction. So I'll go up 1 string sometimes. I find great benefit in doing that one because I really love the wave that your fingers create as they ascend. And then when you descend, you're doing that. It becomes very smooth over time. Then I'll fill the rest of the time with weird combinations. Like I'll just do fingering combinations like 1-4 across all the strings. Maybe I'll try something like 1-3-2-4. Just to confuse myself a little bit. Okay, after the first phase, which has been very technical, now we get to move on to a little bit more freedom. So what I like to do is I like to play various backing tracks and then play along and just improvise over the top of them. So maybe I'll figure out the chord progression that they're doing, and then I'll just try to solo and come up with ideas. Sometimes I just have to listen and a phrase will come to me and I'll try to figure it out. Or I'll just choose a scale and I'll just sort of mess around until something sounds good to me. So this is all free and open for this next phase, okay? So just play a backing track, close your eyes and get lost in it a little bit, and try to come up with some expressive phrasings or whatever you feel like doing over the top of it. My new favorite thing lately is to imagine what a singer would sing over the top of it and then try to copy the melody on the guitar. So that's just a little side tip of what I've been doing lately. All right, after you get done with the creative improvising, you'll want to do some more scale patterns this time. So in the warm-up, we did a lot of just spider exercise, real just, 1 fret at a time stuff, different fingerings just to get warmed up. But now we're actually going to use actual scales. So now's a great time to practice maybe your 3-note per string scales, your cage system, color system, whatever you like to use. And then what you can do is you could start to do patterns and sequences with them. So for example, if you're just taking a 3-note per string major, you could do those in 3s, so you could group them in 3s. It's a great one. Be sure to ascend and descend. You could do 4s, which are my personal favorite. Sorry, I sped up at the end, but you get the idea. And then maybe I'll throw in a 6 pattern. 6s are a great way to sound fast, but you want to make sure it's clean. So make sure you do it slow at first, like I said, with a metronome, and then move on from there. During this phase, I'll also mix in some techniques that might need some refinement. So maybe I'll do some legato. So instead of picking all that, maybe I'll just go. So I just hammer down everything, or pull-offs. So So either way, I'm getting the benefit of the legato side. And so I'll do that, maybe tapping. There's just so much you could do during this technical portion. So depending on your level, use chord review to just go over maybe your basic major open chords, then minor, and then move on to your bar chords and so on. It's just after you get that stuff done, you're going to want to move to higher levels, and that's when you start getting into the more jazz side, maybe extended chords. You start to use different voicings for things, and but at first it can start off very simple. It could be power chords, it could be just like I said, open chords, and just make sure you have all of those locked into your mind so that you're never caught off guard. You're able to play whatever comes. Okay, I think everyone's going to like the fifth phase the most. It's one of my favorites, and that's when you learn riffs and licks from other people. So for example, if like right now I'm doing my licks videos where I have to play 22 licks per video, and so I will think of 22 different solos that I'd love, and I'll take my favorite part of it and I'll study it. I'll try to learn it using my ear a little bit, so you get a little bit into ear training when you do this. Of course, you could look up the music, you could find some tab for things. You could even look up video lessons on them, but I really encourage you to try to figure them out for yourself. So you could use this phase not only to learn other people's riffs or licks, but also to improve your ear a little bit, and to be able to instantly transcribe what you hear. And that's going to come into play for the rest of your guitar career. What's great about learning other people's licks and riffs is that you could sort of borrow their tricks. It's kind of like a bag of tricks that you could take, and then it's like their tools that you're taking for yourself as well. So you put them in your toolbox, and all of a sudden you have all these new abilities, all these new ideas, these techniques, these tools, and you can unleash them when you start to write your own solos. And that's going to be the final phase. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to use this last section to do free creative time. So you could write your own leads, you could write your own riffs, songs, you can even write lyrics if you want to. Some people just put the guitar down and they just start writing poetry. It's really cool, and the reason I put this last is because sometimes you get on a creative roll and you don't want to stop. And that'd be a shame to all of a sudden have the timer go off and go, oh, I was just in the middle of a great idea and now I have to move on to sweep arpeggios or something. So I left this to be last so that you guys could go as long as you need to get your creative ideas out, all right? Now, if this means going back and improvising again for some people, that's fine, but I really encourage you to try to compose something. So walk away from this session saying, okay, I actually have a chord progression that I really like and I thought of it, or here's a lead idea that I started working on, or even here are some lyrics, here's a song title, that would be great. And from there, it snowballs. It's really cool to see the creative muscle get stronger because it just keeps rolling after that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my 6-phase practice routine that I've been doing during the pandemic. And I know even if you borrow 10% of it for yourself and utilize it, it's going to make a big difference in your guitar lives. So go ahead and leave me a comment after about a week of doing this and let me know how it's gone for you. And I'll keep you guys updated as well, both through the live streams and through these videos, okay? So we'll catch you at the next lesson. Thanks, you guys. Bye.